That feeling of wanting to spend the most time with one person because you never know when it can be the last time. The necessity of telling that one person all the things you've never told them, or simply to let them know that you love them. I feel like that with my grandmother, the only one I have. Now she's 89 years old, and I can tell you that thanks to our faith in God, her strength, and how my family fought for her life, made it possible for her to still be here with us. When my brothers and I started to play tennis at a very young age, she used to come to watch our entire practices. She was supporting and giving us the best advices she could, never skipping one of my practices. She was always there. Every Christmas Eve, my whole family used to come to my house to have dinner, but in 2015, my grandma started not to be able to fend for herself. She fell down the stairs a few times, and sometimes we would go to her house and find her laying on the ground because she fell down. Due to my parents' and other family members' jobs, it was impossible to have enough time to take continuous care of my grandmother. So even though it was a hard decision, we had to get her in an old people's residence for her to have continued supervision. So that year, 2015, was the first Christmas Eve she wouldn't be sitting on the table with us. She was diagnosed with Alzheimer. What we didn't expect was how the fact of having my grandmother intern in the residence was going to change our lives. That same year, I decided to take tennis more seriously, and I started competing. I did it for myself because I love the sport, but at the same time, I knew I was also doing it for her. A few months later, the people taking care of my grandmother decided to put her on a wheelchair. She lost her ability to walk, and she was losing her ability to speak and process her own thoughts to form a sentence. In 2018, she stopped being able to eat, so they had to get a little tube connected to her stomach, and that's how she's been surviving. All these things happening to her showed us that whatever we do in life, we have to give our 100%. We have to do what we like because even though we tend to think that we have plenty of time in life, you never know what can happen to you or what's going to affect your life. We used to go visit my grandmother at the residence almost every day. One of the most beautiful moments was when she would look at us and smile. That made us feel that she recognized us. Nonetheless, she has Alzheimer. We were so happy to go visit her, always thinking that she would be there the next day and the following, and that nothing would change. But the year 2020 came to our lives, and as we know, it was a crazy year because of the global pandemic of COVID-19. It changed my life a lot, but related to my grandmother had the bigger impact on me. We were not able to visit her whenever we wanted anymore. We had to take appointments, and it was just once a month and not even. It was just one person who was able to see my grandma, and they wouldn't let underage people, so I couldn't see her for 4 consecutive months. She faced moments where her health was becoming weaker, and she had to get into the hospital to stay there for a few nights, 7 different times. I remember when it was late at night, and suddenly my mom's phone would start ringing, and every time it was from the hospital. After all the situations, the doctor told us that that was the end for her. Her health was really, really weak. As we believe in God a lot, she received the extra unction, which is the anointing of the sick. I was there when she was receiving it, and it was heartbreaking for me, the fact that I would look at her eyes and she would look at me, but she wouldn't see me. I had to say goodbye to her, and I promised that she would be able to be proud of me, that I would pursue my dreams and achieve my goals. I was devastated by the fact that that was the last time I would see her, and that I couldn't do anything to change her condition and the situation. I had to get used to the idea that she was going to leave us. But miraculously, since that day, my grandma got better and better. She even got COVID, but passed it without any issues. She showed us that she wasn't ready to leave this world. When I'm on the tennis courts, I like to think that she's there with me. as she used to. I am so thankful that I'm able to say that she's still alive, and hopefully in 5 months we will be celebrating her 90th birthday. All her strength taught me to overcome any obstacles, to value the little details in life, and to enjoy the company of our loved ones while we can.